Hey everybody, it's Miss Hanson. In this example video, we are going to look at how to create a relative frequency distribution from a frequency distribution. So here we have data that we're given two frequency distributions. One that shows us how much tar was found in non-filtered cigarettes. So we can see the distribution here in milligrams of tar, and then we have a similar table for filtered cigarettes. We're asked to compare their relative frequency distributions and determine whether or not the filters appear to be effective. So essentially what we're being asked to do is to take these frequency distributions and turn them into relative frequency distributions. There's a few ways we could do that. One way that we could do that is that we know to get the relative frequency, we need to divide each frequency by the sample size. So what I mean by that, let's take a look at this first column here for non-filtered cigarettes. That corresponds with this frequency distribution here. Well, we can get the sample size from adding up all of the frequencies. So 1 plus 2 plus 15 plus 6 plus 1 gives us a sample size of 25. So I can get the relative frequencies by taking 1 and dividing it by 25. 1 divided by 25 is 0.04, which written as a percent would be 4%. And we could use that to fill out all of these values. For example, so if that's 1, I know the last one also has to be 1 because that has that there. Let's look at, for example, the 26 to 30, where it has 15. I would take 15, divide it by the total sample size of 25. 15 divided by 25 gives me 0.6. Turn that into a percent by moving the decimal 2 places to the right to get 60% for the class of 26 to 30. So we could do that by brute force. We would do the similar thing to fill out. Oh, sorry, be careful here. Wait, I made a mistake right here. Be careful right here. This is the trick. You see I put this 4 up there? That's wrong because this is for the 6 to 10 class, but the non-filtered cigarettes start at 16. So that 4 really should have been down here and not up there, okay? There is nothing for 6 to 10 and there is nothing for 0 to 11. So both of those are 0. Similarly, in the other table, look, the other table stops at 25. The other table stops at 25. It only has 4 values. Everything after that is a 0. So we would only need to add up these frequencies and then divide by that. But I want to quickly show you how we could do this in StatCrunch much faster. Now that we understand conceptually what's going on, let's take a look at how we could use technology to do this for us. So we're back in StatCrunch. I'm going to click on this icon to open up this data here in StatCrunch. Now that I have the data opened up, I'm going to go to Stat. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because I have a frequency distribution already, right? We're starting with a frequency distribution. What we want are the relative frequencies. We already know. We basically just want to take these values and divide them all by the sum. So I'm going to make a bar graph for the relative frequency distribution to get the answer very quickly. So I'm going to go to Graph, Bar Plot, and I'm going to go to With Summary, because we have a summary of the data. The categories are in the non-filtered cigarettes, and the count is in the first frequency. If I'm going to do this for the first table, for the first non-filtered, it's in the first frequency, so pay attention to which frequency you select there. I want to make a relative frequency one, and I'm going to choose to show the value above the bar, because I want to see what the value is. And then down here in the corner, I'm clicking on Compute, and I get this nice bar graph here. This shows me that, as we already knew, the class of 16 to 20 milligrams has a relative frequency of 0.04, which is 4%. The next class, 0.08, is 8%. We had already calculated that 60%. I can see 24% there, and I can see 4% there. Notice this doesn't go below 16. These first two classes have a relative frequency of 0. I'm going back to Graph, Bar Plot, With Summary again to do the same thing, but this time I want to do it in the filtered cigarettes category, and I'm going to be choosing the second frequency. I still want to make a relative frequency histogram, and I still want to see the value above the bar. And I click compute on that, and now I can see I have different values. The 6 to 10, oh wait, strange thing is happening here with this 6 to 10 showing up at the end. Pay attention to the order these are showing up in. Let me see if I can make it not do that. I wonder if I don't know why that's happening, but pay attention to that. I'm sorry, I just noticed that weird thing there, but notice the 6 to 10 does start off with an 8%. 6 to 10 has an 8%, the 11 to 15 has a 12%, the 16 to 20 has a 28%, the 21 to 25 has a 52%. And there's zeros for all these higher categories. We're not seeing as much tar in filtered cigarettes, and we're seeing more tar in non-filtered cigarettes. So let's go ahead and check that. Boom. And then I'll leave you to answer this last question.